This class will study about the adapter design pattern. So what is an adapter? An adapter is a term that you use in everyday life. Technically, what you use adapters for in everyday life is to bridge between two incompatible systems. An adapter in code functions exactly the same way. Say you want to use a library or a framework and it expects interface A. What you have is interface B. Whatever code you write to convert interface B to interface A so you can integrate with that framework or library is an adapter. Let's take a look at this in some more detail by first considering what are adapters in day-to-day life. Now, you could do a quick search or a quick Google search for adapters and you'll come up with what typically are electrical devices. These are things that you use to charge your phone or your computer or anything. An adapter is a device that converts the attributes of one electrical device or system to those of an otherwise incompatible device. This is the definition of an adapter as we hear it in real life, and it can be applied literally to programming, except that we won't be talking about electrical devices. Instead, we'll be talking about interfaces and coding systems and integrating those two. An adapter in a coding paradigm is basically something or some piece of code which takes in an object that implements one interface and gives out an object that implements a completely different interface. You might use this object with a new different interface as a part of a system that could not work with your original interface. That is where an adapter has its utility. Now let's take this definition very literally and look at the simplest definition of an adapter that we could find in real life. Let's take a look at it diagrammatically as drawn on screen. Say we have an array. That's the input variable that we have to work with. But we need a list. So basically we want an array, that's the input because that's what we have. However, we want to work with a list. List is the output that we want, so we can call certain libraries or frameworks, for example. This conversion of an array to a list is adapter code. Does this seem really simple? It is, but it's an adapter. You can either iterate through an array and add it to a list, or call simple methods like toList or asList on arrays. There are multiple ways of performing this conversion. All of those pieces of code are essentially adapters. Now, why would we want to do something like this? Why is this adapter code needed, and why would we use it in real life? Now, in Java especially, lists are far cooler than arrays. There are all kinds of wonderful utilities that work on lists, but not on arrays. Lists can have a whole variety of implementations based on your need, such as array lists or linked lists. They have different implementations backing the same interface. Lists can grow and shrink as you add items to it or remove items from it. This dynamic nature of lists and all the wonderful utilities that go with it make the use of lists way more powerful than working with arrays, especially in Java. This is what an adapter looks like at its core. Let's see some more interesting examples as we go on with this class.